am Douglas, because I think some doggies are getting some treats if they just stay home and go inside the house. I think they're cleaning up some cat food, little cat food dishes laying around inside the house. I'm guessing that's why my dogs are like, do I want to spend 13 hours in a car, or when he wakes up, he'll let us inside the house and we can raid all the cat food. We eat a couple cat turds in the process. I think that's what's going on here. Because they ain't coming in, and the only thing that's changed is they've been going inside the house a little bit more often. They must be getting some type of reward or treat, and that's why they want to stay home, which I'm thankful for. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. I'm pretty sure you're doing it for another motive, another reason. You want something, okay? I mean, you made me take my dogs with me for fucking months. I just look, I don't know how I'm able to do this, but when I hit a brick wall or I get really stressed out, it doesn't really affect me anymore. I tend to just kind of go my own way and accept that it's just going to be this negativity from... Anyway. Oh, now I'm talking about... Stop fucking started talking about something negative, but not quite negative. Positive. I mean, thank you. I mean, the dogs are happy, too. Because they were not enjoying coming with me. But, the little thing about paper routes, for some of you guys. So, and this has just happened, which is what sparked me to even think about talking about this. I have people that sometimes like to go on walks or runs first thing in the morning, right? And so, you know, normally when I'm running on time, I don't necessarily run into them, but like today I'm watching podcasts and I'm watching a bunch of other stuff. Very interesting stuff. So, you know, I'm going a little slower. So we ran into each other, right? And he's walking down the road, he's got his flashlight out. And I see his flashlight and I dim my lights, right? Because it's freaking miserable. Trying to walk down the road and they got someone's brights in your eyes. And so as we pass, you know, it's like I'm cautious around him, and he will be running as I'm delivering. Sometimes it's like I'll get ahead of him and I'll be able to pull into the street, and then by the time I come out, he's already ran past, so I'm coming up behind him. And I've passed this guy in this one little section because it's like I get a really busy little section here, or it used to be better, but not as much anymore. But I'd run across him about, you know, 4 to 6 times as I'm doing the paper route. And at first, these people, when you run into them, they're gonna get a little nervous about it because, and here it is. He still hasn't gotten all the way down the road. He's just walking today. But it's things like this, right? So it's like I've already got my lights dimmed, even though his back's to me. Yeah, I still prefer to dim the lights. And I give them plenty of space, and this has been an ongoing thing for years. Years we have been playing this game. I'm ahead of them, so as long as I stay on track and on course, we won't interfere with each other anymore. But there's sometimes like we just happen to come up at the same time, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he's like, okay, you go ahead and go in front of me, and I'm like, okay. And then he's been feeling a little bit more comfortable, and he'll see it, and like he's getting through the road, he doesn't have to rush, he knows that I see him. And so it's like, I always like to pay attention to that, and it's like, I'm rather trained in this area to kind of always be cautious, more cautious in this area than any other area, and that's mainly because I know that he's out here running. It's like I go straight from there and then I immediately dive onto this street, and then used to do a few more papers in here, especially with the Nevada appeal. It was a lot more work doing the Nevada appeal, but that job doesn't even exist anymore. I really enjoyed doing both paper routes. I really did enjoy it. It was just the stress, but I mean, you know, you lose the money and then you're like, the stress was kind of worth it, but in the heat of the moment when you're dealing with all the stress, I did not make good decisions. I didn't. I gave all my money away. I didn't save anything other than investing a whole bunch of, like a few $1,000s in all my cars. That's about the smartest fucking thing I did with all that money. tried to help other people in the process too, to get them some money, but they ended up just getting in trouble and being in more debt than before I tried to help them. This was before I realized that I can't financially help anyone. I mean, I'll talk to you, I'll try to help you that way, but when it comes to money, money usually doesn't help anything. But buying things to help someone, I'm totally more into that, especially if it has a purpose. Which reminds me, I got a few of InfoWars stuff I would like to share, because I actually bought that seed vault that he has. I don't know if I got the most expensive one. I'm pretty sure I got the most expensive one. I was expecting a bigger container. I'm rather happy that it's not a big container, but at the same time, wow, that was a lot of money. Discounted. I used a $50 coupon, and it was still a couple bills. I'll give it that. But my God, there are a bunch of seeds in it. There's a bunch of variety of seeds. They're all properly labeled. It comes with a book. It gives you a brief description of how it all works in a very well sealed container. Gotta say, like, it's a conflicting purchase. I'm gonna give it that, but I'm interested in it. It's curious, and it fits in a backpack, which I was like, because I honestly thought this thing might be a lot bigger than it actually was. But see, here's the catch. Now that I got all these seeds, I could totally plant all these seeds, and I just need to plant one or two of the seeds, right? After I plant those 2 seeds and I let them fully mature, turn to seed, I got a buttload of seeds, like way more. And I could then go ahead and put my own little kits together, make little labels for all the bags, and then I could sell that at a lesser price. Cold tolerant. Yeah, cold tolerant. Acclimated to live in a cold, harsh environment, that is for sure. My garden is still in its death phase, and I don't know if to start a garden here would be suggesting that I'm staying the whole summer, which I don't know if I am. But I mean, I guess if she's trying to sell it while I have a garden, that's not actually necessarily a bad thing. And maybe by the time she sells it, if she can sell the house in a year, we'll see about that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe she already has. I don't know. But maybe I can get like that last batch of huge seeds from it all. I also found a place that will let me donate some of my petrified wood, because I can't take all my petrified wood with me, and all my I can't take my rock collection with me. So I have to give up my entire rock collection here soon, which is kind of frustrating because it's a lot of rocks. So I'm finding a place that might be able to purchase some of them, but I'm getting this vibe like I'm not gonna get a lot for them, which kind of sucks. Spent years collecting this. Dude, some of these pieces I pulled out were freaking huge. You talking about pain walking back with this boulder. So I wanted to stay at this place, but that's not allowed, so fuck it. Really wanted to stay there, and it's like I'm all butthurt about it, because I bet you anything, the people that come in, they're just gonna tear down the house, they're gonna cut down the desert peach bush, they're gonna destroy the entire property. They're then gonna put a pretty house and a pretty driveway and a pretty lawn, and they're gonna make it look so uppity, and that is the end of it. And then the place is gonna be forever haunted and cursed. Oh, you best believe it. Anyone that's gonna try to live in that property will not be happy. They will not be satisfied. You're gonna wither away and die if you try to live there. And you gotta be the right person, I do suppose. I don't know why I'm so immune to it. Maybe that's why I'm so immune to so much. I have been able to be strong, even though I shouldn't be as strong as I am. I've always been really strong. I'm not quite sure why. And sometimes it seems like I just kind of stumble into what I need, what I want. If I have a question, it's generally answered. And it's always weird how I get stuff sometimes, which makes me feel like it's programmed, but at that same time, hard to say, as we generally say when we don't want to say anything. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm almost done with my freaking paper route. Oh yeah, since I got the time, I don't know, because this one person was asking me about relationships. I'm going to refer you to Red Coach Pill, and I don't know if I'll really want to touch that whole subject about relationships. I generally feel how he feels about relationships. However, I'm not in a seeking... I just don't seek a relationship because being with someone else makes me uncomfortable. And being with someone else every day would be hell. I do believe that might actually be hell. I'm so used to being alone, or maybe I'm just really good at being happy with myself. I don't quite understand why I am so good at this. There was a point in my life where I wasn't, and spirituality is what I would say towards the whole relationship thing, because I would say that I used to seek relationships, but now I see how relationships are mostly just about physical, and the only purpose to have a relationship is to reproduce. And I'm not really interested in reproducing. I have really no sexual desire. I have no desire to really reproduce. Would I want a child? I think every man wants to have a son. I think that's just standard. Or if you're more feminine, maybe you want a daughter, but I think that's just natural for us to we want to raise something to replace us, or raise something to help take care of us. I was raised I feel I was raised and conditioned to be a servant to my mother, and I rejected my role, which gives me, I have no purpose, because my purpose was a programmed purpose. And for some reason, somehow, I just don't like to give up freedom. I'm too stubborn. I just never really succumbed to the program. I hear the program, I see the program, but I've just never been the one to fit in. I've just never been the one to, if everyone's doing something, I tend to do something that they're not doing, because I don't want to be like anyone else. I really don't. In truth, we are kind of what we absorb. That's what I would say, is that a lot of who I am is off of who I absorb in a day, and through their content, through their words, because the words are spells. Words are spells. And if you listen to something you don't like over and over again, it does take an effect, and it does help change one's mind about a subject. It's difficult, sure, but it's possible. So long as but the caveat is it has to be truthful. It has to resonate with someone inside as what they feel is right or wrong. And I suppose that's what we got this huge divide right now too, is because there's a lot of people that maybe feel in their heart resonate that this is what they think is the right thing. And there's a lot of other people who disagree. And it's hard to disagree with anyone. Other people in other countries, they can't openly say what they want, because it could really get them a lot of consequences. So in that aspect, I think we're rather blessed, the little fucked up system we have right here, right now. Even with the demonetization I'm okay with demonetization, but that's just step one. If you keep doing it, you're not making any money, because you take away the incentive to actually make videos. Like, I know I can never be monetized on majority of everything. I'm struggling to find any of my content that wouldn't be demonetized in one way or another, for one reason or another. It's rather pointless to try to do a YouTube out of a career. I was never trying to do YouTube as a career. I was doing YouTube because I wasn't speaking to anyone. I was deep in thought, and I was having a lot of trouble living my life while being silent. So apparently, for some fucked up reason, people like me more when I talk. Because I guess when I'm not talking, maybe I talk, I'm an idiot when I speak, and it makes them feel more comfortable around me. I'm not quite sure, but my words have been what saved my life. Being able to express myself. And I wouldn't say I always express myself in the most positive of light, but I wasn't trying to either. Just uploading my life and answering questions when they come. I do my best. Relationships, I just do not feel. I've tried several times, and there's been a few girls who've even tried, but at that same time, that click just doesn't happen. And I'm a real asshole. Like, you tell me you got allergies, I'm like, what? You say you have diseases, and I'm like, no thanks. Not like sexual diseases. I mean, like, you have thyroid problems, or you have this problem, or you have that problem, you know? I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. Because I'm just struggle to believe in all of that stuff, which could really bite me in the ass, I suppose. I'm really into the whole mind over matter. It's like when I was a child and I was trying to do telekinetics. What kid is it? Trying to be Superman. I never jumped off no goddamn fucking buildings because I ain't fucking crazy. There's a certain level of voodooism I've noticed in all of this. Motherfucker, I gotta pee again. I'll tell you what, I just drink too much fucking coffee. I think we're good. Y'all have a wonderful day. And if you aren't familiar with my gaming channel, Alberdine Angus, I am going to try to upload content on that. However, I do want to try to be a little bit more entertaining, which involves video cutting, which is a fucking nightmare. And it's just a nightmare. I have made videos and I put my heart and soul into it, and at the very last edit, the video corrupts, and you're looking at it and you're like, do you want to start over? And you're like, that's video editing right there in a nutshell right there. It's just you put an hour into editing it. You've spent an hour recording, you spent an hour editing, and you're at the end part where you're trying to save it, and it all corrupts, and you're like, start from the beginning. You know, when I paid a couple $100 for shit, it was still crap.